Something else that we're showing off at the show, just like we were doing last year, demonstrating some of the mechanics for our new game, Relic Knights, Dark Space Calamity. It's a skirmish-scale fantasy sci-fi anime game that we'll be pushing out here later this summer. We hope to have some product available at Gen Con, so please be aware of what we're doing on Facebook. We'd love to share some more info about it. But Relic Knights is a 32mm skirmish game set in a sci-fi anime universe, which we'd love to be able to share more about. We've been developing miniatures for this range for the last couple of years, and we're finally at a point where we can not only share rules, but actually give you enough miniatures for each of our incoming factions to be able to give you a game to play. We're really excited to show you how this works. So generally, Relic Knights, to give an overview, is a completely diceless miniatures-based system. So Relic Knights, instead of dice, features a 42-card battle deck featuring the different colors of power that are utilized within our universe. Now, in our universe, we have 6 different colors of power that the characters will be using in order to generate their different abilities, whether they're attacking, defending, or setting up zones of control around the battlefield. In this deck, of course, are going to be represented the 6 different colors, as well as universal color usage, such as our basically jack-of-all colors, as well as what your hand might take, which would be a void card, which, as we show them, would actually represent no power and ability, and actually into your hand with what we'd call kind of like getting, mana screwed, if you will. So that's how our battle decks work, and each player would be required to use one of those in place of having an actual set of dice. A standard game plays on a 3x3 table and uses a cadre of characters between 8 and 10 models in a standard-sized game. Different than a standard game where you go head-to-head trying to bleed out the other team and wipe out every character to the last man, Relic Knights runs on an objective-based system, so that you're going to be playing a number of scenarios that are going to require both tactics and finesse, and not just your ability to bloody the opponent. Something also that you notice is that in Relic Knights, we don't have a traditional turn-based system. Turn-based systems largely allow you to move an entire field of forces, and then your opponent does the same, and you go back and forth until you've read a set number. Instead, with Relic Knights, your forces are represented by a number of cards, each representing the characters and forces within the game. Each of these cards, of course, will be used to track things like life points, how much energy they might be able to expend, as well as basic stats and abilities, and they'll be coupled with a data card that will give you access to the information regarding their individual powers and abilities as well. These cards are actually used to track the characters in-game, and to give you a better example, the characters are going to be set up, depending on the size of game, in what we call a ready queue. And the ready queue determines the order of activation that you as players are going to be setting up to play. Now, even though your full force may be represented by a number of cards, you will only have a number of slots in your ready queue determined by the size of the game that you're playing. In a player's turn, a player is going to activate the first character in their queue. They're going to generate cards in their hand using the battle deck, and they're going to use their cards and abilities in order to access powers, deliver attacks, or be able to go after objectives in the game. Once the character's completed its activation, it's moved back into an idle pool, all of the characters slide to the right, and they end their turn by selecting a new character from their pile to go back in. Now, this is going to allow your opponent and you to have visibility on where you're planning to do your battle over the course of the next few turns. And a lot of the game interaction not only includes fighting in the game, but also interacting with this ready queue, possibly freezing or moving characters out, disrupting your tactics and your plans. So we think that the game is very fast playing, it's super dynamic, it's fun, it's super easy to learn, and we have some of the best miniatures out there. If you want to find out more about Relic Knights, you can follow us on Facebook, or you can get us at www.sodapopminiatures.com.